Reviewing some sentences. You all have written some good sentences and others that could have a little improvement. And thank you for working on sentence writing. What do you think of this? The increasing cost of living has created stress for many people, causing them to have anxiety issues that lead to poor performance in their daily activities, including their jobs. And it is not a surprise that some people do not take their paid time off because of the expenses that they have to take care of. Well, this is a really good sentence in general. It's very long, a lot of ideas. The increasing cost of living has created stress for many people, causing them to have anxiety issues that lead to poor performance in their daily activities, including their jobs. And it is not a surprise that some people do not take their what? Oh, this is the only thing that should be changed, their unpaid time off. Because if you don't take your paid time off, that doesn't really make sense. If it's paid, you take it off. But unpaid, maybe because of the expenses they have to take care of, they don't want to take up unpaid time off. That's what I think. Next one. After an exhausting day in school, she arrived home and started to feel tired. So she drank too much coffee to have more energy to continue working on an analysis essay project that was due by tomorrow. Due by. It was due in the past. Tomorrow. Well, that's kind of weird because you could say maybe it is due by tomorrow, or it was due by the next day. You understand? Was due by what? The next day. The following day. Which is better? The following day? The next day? Maybe the following day would be the same thing as the next day. Let's move on. What do you think of this? Los Angeles is a city that has grown considerably over the years, comma. This has led to the cost of living increasing rapidly. The rising cost of living has created stress for many people who have begun to look for life options in other cities and even in other states. And there's a small correction on the next one where if you want a comma here, you have to say, comma, which has led. Or if you go back here, instead of the comma, you could put a period here and say this. What you could say? This. Is that all right? If you wanted a comma, like it originally was, you need the which is what you see in the next one. Let's move on. They are always so hungry by 10 a.m. because they exercise the most in the mornings and after they go and get breakfast. They're always so hungry by 10 a.m. because they exercise the most in the morning, comma, so after that, they go and get breakfast. It's a little better. Next one. Sometimes he gives thanks for all the opportunities in his lifetime, but not every experience has been enjoyable enough to be grateful for, despite the efforts made to learn different lessons from his mistakes. That's good. Or is it? Is there something missing? I think it's okay. The impact of increasing air pollution is more dangerous than you think. If air pollution continues to increase, by 2030, the air will become so poisonous that it will be necessary to use an oxygen kit to breathe easily. We need a comma. If air pollution continues to increase, comma, by 2030, the air will become so poisonous. That's it. In recent years, as housing prices have soared or gone up, Maybe it's better to make this a little bit bigger. As housing prices have soared, food costs have risen, and wages have failed to keep pace with inflation. The increasing cost of living has created stress for many people, especially those who are already struggling to make ends meet, forcing them to reconsider their daily expenses and long-term financial plans. Well, pretty good. In recent years, as housing prices have soared, food costs have risen, and wages have failed to keep pace with inflation, the increasing cost of living has created stress for many people, especially those who are already struggling to make ends meet, forcing them to reconsider their daily expenses and long-term. That's a good sentence. Let's go to our next one. He went to eat at a restaurant that his friends recommended to him. Well, I could say where he ordered chicken, or put a period and say he ordered chicken. What do we do there? We're going to look at the next slide and see how this one gets fixed. Is that okay? He went to eat at a restaurant that his friends recommended to him. He ordered chicken, but it was not well cooked, and he ate everything, but then he started to feel sick. He went to the doctor and was told that he had salmonellitis from eating too much, from eating undercooked and contaminated chicken. Salmonellosis, sorry. I've never seen it that way. We normally say salmonella poisoning or just salmonella, but salmonellosis from eating under. But all I did was put in a period here, commas here, adding a but, an and. Those little conjunctions are sometimes a little tricky to think about. Although global efforts have been made to promote peace and diplomacy, there are still many wars in the world fueled by political unrest, competition for resources, and deeply rooted historical conflicts that continue to claim lives and displace communities. That's pretty good. He started to feel sick after school, so, well, we don't need this other so. He went to the doctor to get some medicine. I could say, and later he felt better if I one sentence, or I just say, period, later he felt better. And later is like a new sentence, or you could say, thankfully, later he felt better. Fortunately, later he felt better. Do you like a word like this? Fortunately, thankfully, later he felt better. These are kind of adverbs that can go at the beginning of a sentence. They're always good to add in if you really want to in certain places. It kind of gives some meaning to it. Next one. He went for a walk. He went for a walk outside in the rain, and when he arrived home, he started to feel sick. When he arrived home, he started to feel sick. So he went to the doctor for some medicine. And he went home to rest all day so he could get better by the next day. Do we need another and here, or is it better to say after seeing the doctor? Maybe it's a little better that way. We got two more here. The relentless rise in the cost of living is squeezing household budgets, forcing difficult choices between necessities. Well, that's a good sentence. Many individuals and families are experiencing heightened stress due to the financial strain of escalating expenses. Rising inflation, particularly in housing, food, and energy, is a major contributor to the increased cost of living. I'm not sure why this is underlined here. kind of like it. Just expenses. It's fine like that. Let's move on. This is pretty good. Pretty good explanation. 3 sentences. Let's try another one. As the afternoon wore on and the room began to spin slightly, he started to feel sick, likely due to a combination of lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and the onset of a seasonal cold that had been going around his office. He began to feel sick. He started to feel sick. As the afternoon wore on and the room began to spin slightly, well, it was spinning like in his head, right? Forgive me. You know what I just realized is probably a lot of these, they were cut off a little bit. Sorry about that. Wrote. Thank you for taking your time to write them. I hope in one way that reviewing these sentences is beneficial for you. And please continue to work on making good sentences. Remember, writing starts with words to sentences, paragraphs, and then eventually we have a complete writing. And all of them are very important.